Hello everyone, Earl Henderson and Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and pause intermittently here and there to talk about things that are going on and better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think they're being done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
This following critical incident briefing is intended to provide you with information about a recent...
And we'll skip through the bullshit.
...with the information difficult to watch. Viewer discretion is advised. On Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, a female victim arrived at the Lancaster Sheriff Station lobby to report a criminal threats incident. She stated her ex-boyfriend, 35-year-old Julio King, who she had 2 children in common with, showed up at her residence earlier in the day and threatened to kill her. In addition, King had called and texted her throughout the day to make threats causing her to fear for her life. She added she had previously seen King in possession of a rifle, and he had made statements that he would shoot it out with police. Deputies documented the incident in a police report. At 9:32 p.m. that evening, the victim called 911 and stated King was parked in front of a residence located in the 500 block of West Avenue J12 in the city of Lancaster. King was reportedly threatening to shoot her children's friends who were trying to leave and go home.
911, what is your emergency?
Hi, I was at the police station a little earlier and I made a report against my baby's father, and he's back at my house threatening to shoot my kid's friends that's trying to leave and go home.
Is he in a vehicle or is he on foot?
He's in a vehicle, sitting outside.
What's the address?
It's
Any restraining orders?
no, but I have a report number for the report that I made earlier today.
Hold on 1 second.
At approximately 9:41 p.m., deputies arrived at the victim's residence and observed King seated in a vehicle parked on the wrong side of the street. Deputies ordered King to put his hands up and exit the vehicle, but he refused to comply and told deputies to shoot him.
All right, so this looks like it's in pre-event buffer mode, so he has not hit the record button on his camera yet, and so when that's like that, there is no audio included in the buffer video. So basically the way these cameras work is they're in the on position, there's power going to it, but it's not constantly recording. I think there's a lot of people who incorrectly believe that body cameras are always recording all the time. That's not the case. What they are doing is they are doing a buffering mode while they're turned on, and basically what that means is it's sort of recording and deleting in a continuous loop. So the pre-event buffer is set for 30 seconds. That way, when you reach up and you hit that record button, it includes the last 30 seconds of video before you hit that record button. So what that camera's doing until you hit that record button is it's recording 30 seconds of video and then deleting that 30 seconds of video, and recording 30 seconds, deleting 30 seconds, recording 30 seconds, deleting 30 seconds. And it keeps doing this in a loop until you hit the record button. When you hit that record button, it saves the last 30 seconds of video, includes it into the recording itself. So this is pre-event buffer. Well, I suspect here in a second we'll hear him, or we'll hear the camera activate. You'll hear the beep beep, something like that, and we'll hear people talking. So he has responded to this call, knowing that there's a gun involved, and he's got his handgun out and ready. I like that. It looks like this guy might be a left-handed person. So if that's the case, then that really works out for him doing it like this. He's able to get out of the vehicle, and immediately get out of the vehicle, he's able to get the gun pointed at the bad guy. And he's able to operate the gear selector with his right hand and put the vehicle in park, and then just reach across his body and open the door. That works out nicely for him. You can still do it as a right-handed person, but I think it's just maybe a little bit easier for a left-handed person. But the point I'm wanting to make is I like how he's got his gun out and he's ready to fight. Now, what would have made this better is if he had a rifle out. Now, he could have a passenger inside the vehicle with him, and the passenger could have the rifle. I don't know. I haven't seen this video yet. I'm just kind of doing it as it goes. But he's got his gun out and he's ready for the fight, and I like that. If you know you're going to a call, you need to be prepared for the fight and have a rifle. Now, the way he's pointing this gun, I don't think that he's using his sights to line up on the target. He's just kind of pointing it in that general direction. He is using his weapon-mounted light to illuminate the target, but I just don't think that he's using his sights in this moment. And he's also only holding the gun one-handed. A handgun is a short-barreled weapon, and the only points of contact you can get on it are two, both hands. When you take one hand off the gun, you are realistically slashing your accuracy in half when you do that. So the best accuracy you're going to get with a handgun is when you put two hands on the gun. That's going to help you improve. All right. So we see that he has moved the spotlight and turned it on to get more light into the vehicle. That's a good tactic. When it's nighttime out, you can use light to your advantage. You can use light to, one, see better, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why artificial light came about, to help us see in the dark. But aside from that obvious reason to help you see better, it also can give you a tactical advantage by blinding the other person. These spotlights are super, super bright. And when you direct it at someone's face and you're standing somewhat behind that light, they're not going to see you very well. They're not going to know exactly where you are. So you don't even have to be directly in the V like this of the door. You could pop that spotlight on them, go to the rear of the vehicle, and aim around from the side of it. You could, in theory, leave that vehicle completely and run off into the yard or something like that, get another vantage point, and aim upon that person, and they may not even know where you went because they're blinded by that bright-ass light that you've just now put in their face.
Put your hands up! Because I said put your hands up! Because we have a call here, put your
Right now,
hands
I think we have
up!
about 3 units, ma'am. DP is extremely uncooperative, yelling back, refusing to listen.
Okay, so get out of the car! Get out of the car!
Going on scene now.
Okay, put your left hand up! Your left hand up!
Let me see both of your hands!
How many units we got here? How many units we got here?
Let me see both of your hands! Let me see. Okay, so let me see
Is he
both
making
of
suicidal
your hands.
statements? Suicidal statements right now. Yeah, I did.
Hey, put your hands up, bro.
SEC, can we check on a net unit, please?
You got a stun bag?
There's a stun bag in the back. There's a stun bag in my trunk.
I'm gonna swap this out. Tomorrow, keep your AR.
Show me your hands! Hands!
Let me see your hands, bro.
On your left again.
Alright, let me see your hands, bro. Let me see your hands. Hey, let's turn up your spot, bro.
Deputies requested additional resources to respond, which included less lethal options, an armored rescue vehicle, mental evaluation team, and deputies from the Special Enforcement Bureau. Deputies used a public announcement system and urged King to surrender peacefully. King told deputies they would have to shoot him, while showing deputies that he was armed with a rifle. While speaking with King, he yelled out, "I'm on live," as he was holding his phone and appeared to be recording. Deputies were able to search social media platforms and found that King was broadcasting on Facebook Live. Deputies continued with orders for King to surrender, but he refused. The armored rescue vehicle arrived on scene and was parked in front of King's vehicle. Deputies utilized the armored rescue vehicle's public announcement system to communicate with King to surrender. Deputies spoke to King for over an hour and a half. During this time, deputies observed King snorting what appeared to be a narcotic substance while he sat in the driver's seat of the vehicle. At one point, King began to exit the vehicle and pointed the rifle in the direction of deputies, at which time a deputy-involved shooting occurred. King was struck by gunfire and fell back into the driver's seat of his vehicle.
1 minute. Listen to me. Julio, listen to me.
I'll handle it. No, we'll keep it on ATAC.
You made them. It's your responsibility to love them for the rest of their life. Your kids.
Hey, tomorrow. Do you know kids' names at all? Names by chance? No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where I'm at. It don't matter.
If it does go hot, we'll keep it on ATAC.
Everybody knows
You know, I talk to your kids.
You know what I'm saying?
They want daddy.
It doesn't matter.
They want to see daddy and they want to talk to daddy.
It is what it is. Like, you feel me? That's cool.
So I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it looks like they're watching the live stream that this dude is doing.
Kids want to talk to you.
Hold on. Hands up. Hands up!
Hands up! Come out with your hands up!
It is what it is. Like, you feel me? That's cool, cuzzo, but I don't know why though. You know what I'm saying? My kids don't even talk. That's how I know you lying. And playing with me.
After the shooting, deputies continued with announcements for King to exit the vehicle, but he refused to comply and continued to broadcast on Facebook Live. King appeared to have suffered a gunshot wound, and a few minutes later he stopped talking and appeared to be unconscious. Assisting deputies formed a tactical rescue team and approached King's vehicle. King was not moving and a rifle was resting on the front passenger side floorboard. The deputies removed the rifle, proceeded to remove King from the vehicle, and rendered first aid until paramedics arrived.
Barely moving.
All right, get my rescue team, my shield.
Yeah.
Rescue team and shield. Give me two guys. Hey, two guys go hands on. We got a shield. You guys are my guys that are actually going to leave his body. Let me get a lethal. Hold up real quick. Hold up. Yep. Let me get a rifle. Alright, let's make this tactical approach. Driver, keep coming left. Here, crack that door open so I can hear me. Yeah, keep bumping left just a little bit. Keep moving up.
Get your hands up in the air.
Hands up. Alright.
Get your hands up.
He's not playing possible. Hey, let's see your hands, man. We want to get you out.
It looks like it's breathing.
Let me see your hands. Keep them up in the air.
Hey, man, I can see small breaths and his head's back pretty far. Alright, let's make approach. Alright, guys, let's make approach.
Hold on, Phil. How do you want it?
We're going to come
Let
left.
me see your hands.
All right, so
Get your right hand.
this guy's got a shield, and I think this other dude does too.
Come out on the shield. Yep. Alright, let's go. Adam, you got lethal?
All right, so this is where I have a problem with shields a lot of times. I don't think that shields are a lot of times used correctly. A lot of what I see is that person in the front has the shield. They're protected, but then you got people who stand way off to the side like this, not behind the shield at all, who have no protection. So I think shields can be good in certain situations, but overall, when I see them being implemented, I just don't believe that they're being used effectively or correctly in that, for that matter. And I think that they're kind of a waste of space in these contexts. And if you're going to be lifting that much weight for nothing, then that's stupid. You might as well replace that damn shield with a rifle and be more effective at fighting and stopping the threat. And for that matter, these other people who are armed, this dude has, the bad guy has a rifle. You should not be going up against a rifle with a pistol. Like, everyone in this group who's going up needs to have a rifle out.
We're gonna go passenger side, guys. What's up? Yeah, just hang on 1 second.
I'll forward the first time 3417 suspect.
Hey, Keith, let me see your hands, buddy. Where's the gun at?
They're still on the couch.
All these other people just come out from the side of the guy with the shield. None of them have shield protection except for this dude. That makes no fucking sense to me.
Got it? Yeah. You got it? I got you, man.
Hey, he's got short time, bro.
Alright, guys. Let's go around the other side. Adam, you hold here? We're gonna try. Alright, hands on, guys. Hands on.
Los Angeles County Fire personnel who were staged nearby arrived within minutes and treated King for a gunshot wound to the torso. King was transported by ambulance to a local hospital where he remained for several days until medically cleared for booking. There were no other persons injured during the incident. The rifle was determined to be a loaded .223 caliber ghost gun.
Ghost gun. All right, so they're calling this a rifle, but realistically, it's a pistol. So this is one of the the great things about our gun laws in this country is they don't really make a whole lot of fucking sense. So this, according to the ATF, is a pistol. Simply for the fact because it does not have a telescoping stock on the back. Now you may be thinking, well, this thing's a stock. Well, it's where the buffer tube is, so there's a spring inside this thing, and when you fire the gun, the bolt, which is right inside here, goes back, it goes phew, and then it springs back forward and strips around out of the magazine, puts it in the breech, and then you fire, it goes back again, and so forth. So it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until you go empty, or you decide to stop shooting. So this has to be there to hold that spring. This, in and of itself, is not a stock. The stock attaches to this thing, and it's telescoping, and it can move back and forth. The barrel is shorter than 16 inches. I can guarantee you that. I don't know exactly what the length on this is. This might be a 7.5 inch barrel or a 10.5 inch barrel. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but this is a short barrel. There's no stock on it. So this is legally a pistol. If you put a stock on this, and you still keep this barrel at this length, this is now a rifle. It's actually, technically, a short-barreled rifle, and you have to have an NFA tax stamp in order to own it. NFA being National Firearms Act, the same bullshit that governs machine guns and silencers. I probably lost you at this point if you don't know about gun stuff. You're probably thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? Welcome to the gun world. That's what all of us gun people are like when it comes to the ATF. We're like, well, man, what the fuck? So this, as I said, is legally a pistol because it does not have a moving stock on it. Even if it, okay, and aside from that, a telescoping stock, it doesn't have a fixed stock on it either. Like a M16 A2 style stock on it. There's a big butt stock on it. It doesn't have a big butt stock on it or a telescoping butt stock, then it is considered a pistol. But the minute you put an actual full butt stock on this thing or telescoping stock and you keep the barrel this short, it now becomes a short barreled rifle, and you have to have a tax stamp for that. The same kind of tax stamp you gotta have if you're gonna own a fucking fully automatic machine gun or a silencer or a grenade launcher. If you take this barrel and you stretch it out to 16 inches, well, then it's just a rifle at that point. Just a regular rifle. It's got to be 16 inches or longer. If you go below 16 inches, it's now an SBR, short-barreled rifle. Unless you take the stock off. Then it becomes a pistol. Who comes up with this shit? I don't fucking know. But it's completely stupid in my opinion. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's allowed to go on. Like, this in of itself is circumventing the short-barreled rifle law. I don't agree with the short-barreled rifle law. I think it's fucking bullshit. I think NFA needs to be repealed. The firearms machine gun acts need to be repealed. People should be able to go out and buy belt-fed machine guns. People should be able to go out and buy grenade launchers. That should be legal to do. I think that needs to be repealed. But with that being said, this is still this is like a loophole around the SBR stuff, and I'm really surprised that this is still allowed to go on. As violent crimes increase and these little street thugs are drawn towards these things, they call them choppas, by the way. I don't know why they call them that, but they call them choppas. The AK pistols, the AKs that are about this same kind of size and setup that are considered pistols, they call those the Dracos. They love these things. They fucking love them. You go look at rap videos, you're going to find stuff like this in it. Now, not a lot of people know the difference between rifle, pistol, SBR. And even a lot of law enforcement don't know the difference between it. Case in point, right now, the sheriff's office who released this video has called it a fucking rifle. It's not a rifle, it's a pistol. So, but I do foresee as violent crimes increase, this loophole is probably going to go away at some point as more and more officers are faced off with these things, and as more and more officers become injured from these things. The laws are going to change for the safety of law enforcement, and this little AR pistol loophole thing is going to go bye-bye. If the entire AR doesn't go bye-bye by then, because that's something that's also been brought to the table, is just completely getting rid of AR-15s and banning them from people, private ownership. Which, again, don't need to happen. The setup on this thing is ridiculous. So there is no front sight on this. It appears that the only thing he has on here is a pop-up rear sight. Yeah, that looks like the only thing he has on it is a pop-up rear sight. So how in the hell he aims this thing? I don't know. But a lot of these dipshits don't even concern themselves with actually aiming through the sights. They just point the gun in the general directions of someone and pull the trigger multiple times. That's what they do. Because they're fucking stupid. Anyway, moving on. Hold on, let me back this up, because did they call it a ghost gun?
During the incident, the rifle was determined to be a loaded .223 caliber ghost gun.
Okay, so ghost gun. All right, so I talked about this before in another video with ghost pistol. So this little line right here, you can take this gun apart, and this line right here, this is the lower receiver. So this will completely detach from this upper piece. You just press this little pin right here, press that in all the way through, and then press this one in all the way through. And this whole top piece right here, where you see this line at, right there, will completely come away from this lower piece. This lower piece is the firearm. This upper piece is not a firearm. You don't have to fill out any special paperwork to buy this upper piece that's just the barrel and the bolt. This lower piece right here is a firearm. If you buy just this lower piece, you have to go through that normal process. But the workaround on that, the loophole, so to speak, as ghost guns go, is there are holes in this thing that when you buy it as a ghost gun piece, those holes are not there. And so they call this an 80% lower. The trigger's out of it. These little pieces are not in it. There's no moving pieces in it whatsoever. And where these holes are, those don't exist. It's just this straight metal. Like what you see right there is there. Just no holes. So you buy this lower piece that doesn't have anything attached to it. The handle's not on it. So you can see where the line's right there. So the handle's not there. The magazine's not in it. The little pieces that you see right here, those are gone. The trigger's gone. Even this little piece could be gone as well. So it's called an 80% lower. So you can buy that. You don't have to have any special paperwork to go buy that thing. And technically, I think convicted felons can possess those 80% lowers and not get in trouble for it, because it's not a firearm at that point. It's just a piece of metal that looks like a lower receiver of an AR-15 rifle or pistol. So you buy that piece, and it comes with a little jig that you set it into, and it has little guide holes for it, and you line up those guide holes and you drill those holes out. Once you drill those holes out, then you start putting pieces in there, and it turns into a working gun. And so when they sell it to you as an 80% lower, because it's not a gun, there's no serial number on it. And so that's what the gun crowd calls a ghost gun, a gun that does not have a serial number on it. What does that mean? It means absolutely nothing. It's bullshit. There is no national database that has people's names and the serial numbers to guns that they own. Does not exist, and it should never exist. If something like that were to exist, that would be opening the door for one day for someone who wants to pull some Hitler shit to be able to do it very easily, because now they know where all the guns are, and they can go round up the people and tell them to turn their guns over, or they're going to send in the military, and they know where they live. So a national registry for guns does not ever need to exist. People like Hitler would have loved if something like that existed. So, when you go to a gun store and you buy a gun, the gun dealer writes down your info on a sheet of paper. That's a form. And they write down the make, model, and serial number of the gun. And then they keep that paperwork. They don't transmit it anywhere. They don't put it in a database. They keep it. And they're required to keep it for so many years. And then, after that time frame, they can destroy that paperwork. They can burn it, shred it, throw it in the trash, do whatever they want to with it. They're no longer required to keep it. So gun stores all across this country, after so much time, they purge those papers and they get rid of them. So there are literally millions of people right now who have legally bought guns, and that time frame has gone over, and the gun store they bought it from has destroyed those records, meaning there is no record of them buying that gun from a gun store. The individual people who bought it might have kept the receipt, so that would be a record. But as far as anyone aside from them having a record, nothing exists. Right now, if you went today and bought a gun from a gun store, your name and stuff would be recorded on that form. Make, model, serial number would be recorded on that form, and it goes into that gun dealer's gun cabinet or their filing cabinet. They don't transmit it anywhere. They don't upload it to a database. So all your info is locked in a cabinet that no one else can access. The ATF can review it, but they got to tell the gun store, hey, we want to come by and inspect your stuff. But even then, they don't take the paperwork and do anything with it. So what's it matter if a gun has a serial number on it or not? It don't fucking matter at all. It's not like it's making any kind of difference. It's not helping anybody. It's not making anyone any safer. All it does, realistically, is make it easier for you to distinguish this rifle or this pistol from this one that look almost the same. Just like a serial number on a TV. You get 5 different Panasonic TVs. They all look the fucking same. How can you tell the difference in them? The serial number. So when it comes to lost or stolen property, that's really the only way serial numbers are useful. Excuse me. Lost or stolen property, that's the only way serial numbers are worth a damn. Other than that, a gun having a serial number on it does not make any effect whatsoever on whether or not that gun's used in a crime. It doesn't prevent a gun from being used in a crime. It doesn't make anyone safe. But the anti-gun crowd, they want serial numbers on guns. Excuse me. They don't want ghost guns out there that don't have a serial number on it. Why? One, they're stupid. Some of them think that a serial number on there means something. It's going to, prevent something from happening. But the ultimatum, the thing they really want is they want that national database. They want a national database that has every gun owner's name on it, who owns a gun, and they want to know specifically what that gun owner has. They want to know every single gun they've got, every make, model. They want to know every single gun that this one person has, and they want it on record. Why would someone want something like that? How does that make you safe? Knowing that Bob has 5 Glock pistols. What fucking difference does that make? How does that make Billy down the street safe? It doesn't. So why do they want the database? So they know who's got the guns and who they need to come to take them away. Like I said, people like Hitler like gun databases because they know who's got the guns, who they need to go take them from, so they can do some atrocious shit. Gun registries are bad.
Additionally, a vial containing cocaine was recovered from inside the vehicle. King had previous convictions for theft, obstructing or resisting a peace officer, and driving-related offenses. Subsequent to this incident, King was charged with assault with a firearm on a peace officer, possession of a controlled substance with a loaded firearm, carrying a loaded firearm in public, and stalking. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department was determined to be a loaded .223 caliber ghost gun. Additionally, a vial containing cocaine was recovered from inside the vehicle. King had previous convictions for theft, obstructing or resisting a peace officer, and driving-related offenses. Subsequent to this incident,
so he doesn't have the biggest criminal background or whatever, but it's no surprise that he has a criminal background. These charges that he has now gotten since then, unfortunately, it stands a good chance that he probably won't do any serious time over this. He'll do a minimal amount of time, but he will. I fully believe that he will probably be out on the streets within 10 years or less. And that's the sad fact where we're at with the criminal justice system in this country. Some states are worse than others, but overall, the criminal justice system in this country, it's not very good. It's not. It's not hard enough, in my opinion. Which people talk about, we need justice reform. Yeah, we do, but not the way most of those people paint it as. When people normally say they want justice reform, they want shit to be a lot easier. They don't want people locked away for a long time. Well, I'm of the opposite opinion of that. And when I say we need justice reform, I mean shit needs to get rough. Like, these criminals need to fear the criminal justice system. This shit that this dude fucking pulled when he was... Let's go back to his little live stream where he cries like a little bitch. Should have never got to this point. Like, this dude felt like he could do whatever he wanted to do. Why? Because his previous interactions with the criminal justice system proved that it don't fucking mean shit.
You feel me? That's cool, cuzzo, but I don't know why though. You know what I'm saying? My kids don't even talk. That's how I know you lying. And quit playing with me.
After the shoot.
I done lost what the hell I was going to say at that point. Fear in the criminal justice system. Yeah, so that right there, that should have never happened. He should have never felt empowered to grab his gun and start to exit the vehicle yelling menacingly, acting aggressive and hostile towards the police like that. He should have never felt comfortable in doing that. Why did he feel comfortable in doing that? Because he does not fear the criminal justice system. So when I say we need criminal justice reform, I mean it needs to become tough. People need to be afraid to do shit around the police like that. They should be so fucking afraid of doing that, like they know bad shit's going to happen. Like they're never going to see fucking sunlight and fresh air for a very, very, very long time. No possibility of parole. No possibility of getting probation. No good behavior gets you out early. You get 15 years, you do 15 years and not a fucking day less. But they know they're not doing the full 15. They get sentenced to 15 years, they get out in 2. Not much else to say about this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.